Before completing this week's Khan Academy, I wanted to show you kind of what Khan's attempting to do to hopefully alleviate some frustration so that it becomes more of a benefit for you than a frustration. So once you get there, you'll see it says watch this video. That's where I'll place the link to the video I'm making right now. When you follow this link, it's going to take you something based on completing the square. That's lesson 9.5. So it probably is in your best interest to complete that lesson first. Now, the goal of this Khan Academy is to figure out what does this process look like up to the point of solving by square roots. So your goal is to not only just figure out what should be added to both sides, but it is also to figure out what the left side factors into. I'm pretty confident it always starts with A being 1. So step number 1 is to move that 36 to the other side. So then the question becomes, which number should we put here and thus also over here? So it goes back to our formula. To complete the square, you take the b term divided by 2 and you square it. In this particular case, the b term is 12. So if we take 12 divided by 2 and we square it, we should get 36. So we're going to add 36 to each side. So as far as this is concerned, for our blanks, this blank right here is the result of adding these two numbers together. So for this particular problem, it's actually going to be a 0. Whoop, that was kind of a bad. Factoring this side, there is a trick or shortcut. The number that goes in here is always half of b. So I can tell you at this point that this is going to be a 6. However, if you would like to factor it, you can, just to double check that. But the beauty of completing the square is the patterns that exist. So your goal is to figure out half of b for this first blank, and then you're going to do this work, plug this in here to figure out what goes in our second blank. So here this should be a 6, and this one should be a 0. And then you're moving on to your next question. If they decide to give you something in function notation, what they've done is they just have moved everything to one side. So picture this f of x as a y. Or if you would like, you could go ahead and picture it as a 0, because we know that to solve, we need to set everything equal to 0. So let me kind of rewrite what they have. Then you're going to go through the same process. Now technically when we do completing the square, this portion is on the other side. So if you'd like to go ahead and move it to the other side, you can. Or we can kind of tackle this problem and then adjust where everything should go, which might actually be the better method. So first, we want to add 78 to the other side. I'm going to leave a blank space there where we can complete the square. Then our goal is to find out what should we add to both sides to complete the square. So if we take b divided by 2, which is 6 divided by 2, and square it, we should get 9. So 9 goes both here and here. 78 plus 9 is going to be 87. Oopsie. Now technically this 87 is sitting on this side. So to bring it back over into this box, you're going to subtract it. It's one of the tricky parts about when they write this in function notation all on one side. So technically this right here gave us 87, which is sitting on this side. So to bring it back over to the right so that you can fill in this box, you would subtract it back over. Again, there's a pattern for this piece. It should always be half of b, so that number there should be a 3. And then moving on. So those should be the two types of problems that you're going to see when you try to do this con.